Rashad, why you didn't hit me up?
What's up, Rashad? Hey, Rashad.
What's up, Rashad?
Thank you, Rashad.
Brother, I love you, brother.
What's up, Rashad? What it do, boy?
Hey, Rashad.
Be vigilant, parents. All right. Let me see. Okay, next thing next, man. Woo Savage did a feature with Zamborghini. This is the same guy who wrote the feature on Woochie Wobbler that we read a couple months ago, and I enjoyed it. And then this one was interesting to me because they said getting people to stop counting out Cobb County. I know Woo was from Cobb County because I knew she was in that R5 whole thing and stuff. You know, all this stuff from the east side and all that, the city, the drama and everything. I'm like, I didn't know she was from Cobb, but yeah. The queen of the dang, the conversation with Woo Savage. One thing, this is from Alexander Gallardo. One thing that bleeps is well aware of is the idea of being misunderstood. To the outside world, they see a fixed scrawl, hear the hair-raising whisper that she delivers and the lyrics in, and a cross arms that signifies to back up. On this Wednesday afternoon, I get to see a side of her that is more easygoing and lighthearted. She smiles frequently and is quick to toss in a joke. Born on October the 3rd, her Libra-esque, oh, brother, charm shines, and she takes the time to sit down and give the world a better understanding of what makes Woo Savage deserve an exclamation point at the end. How do you spell your name? Woo Savage. I tell people my real name. My personal goal is not until I get my own Wikipedia page. Okay. Before we start, do you mind if I eat? Gestures to the bowl of noodles. She said, go ahead. She settles in and we proceed on. Where's home for you? I was born in Indiana, but I moved to Cobb County in like 3rd grade. What part of Indiana are you from? Lafayette, but my people are from Gary. That's your hidden hobby, drawing and painting. I write poetry and I want to make books and TV shows. Oh, that's nice. I want to make a children's show. I picked up Legos last year too. I started making music when I was 19. A children's show. Can I know what it's going to be about? She said, nah, we'll see. So we've been making music for about the same length of time. What was your reason to get into music? And she said, I always wanted to do music when I was in high school, but I never took the chance. I originally wanted to start a rap group with my friends, but the idea never materialized. After I graduated from high school, I started my first year at Georgia Highlands. Oh, shouts out to Georgia Highlands, man. Who was the first person who started getting you into music? One of my friends told me about hopping on the song with me. One of these guys had a studio, and we just were on there and recorded, which became Griseldo Blanco. He helped me choose my rap name, and he passed away right after I got signed. Oh, rest in peace to him. What did you study in college? Dental hygiene. I dropped out after I changed my major to biology because I wanted to become an orthodontist. Do you feel like dropping out was the best thing you ever did? I would say, yeah. It was a learning experience, and I feel like when we're young, we were told to go because it's quote-unquote the right thing to do. I'm back in school right now, but I haven't told many people. I'm actually in for practicing to be a mortician, and I love my own cemeteries and funeral. Oh, heck no. That ain't no character. Her rap, character. She trying to be a mortician. She said, I like to have my own cemetery. Oh, Lord. Are you into horror movies? She said, my favorite type of movies are comedies, but I'd be interested in doing horror movies like Queen of the Dang type movies, a sexy type of scary. I like scary looking things, but I don't like to be scared. I feel like a lot of people get that misconstrued because they see the spikes and automatically assume that I'm into stuff like upside down crosses and atheism, but I don't play by my religion like that. I like edgy things, but not controversial. That's interesting. That is interesting. Okay. What do you feel like outside of being another big misconception about you? When they meet me, they're surprised that I'm super nice. I think people think that I'm going to be mean, so they get surprised when they see how I act. I'm cool when I'm not, but I'm not just evil. What is the weirdest thing you do? I feel like going to mortician school laughs. Everyone always finds that like a what moment. Someone has to do it. All right, bro. People like you aren't scared. And I'm like, are y'all scared of money? Okay. Would you be interested in doing autopsies? They have to do that more at the hospital first with embalming. Oh, this is weird. This is weird, bro. You have to cut the body open anyway, so it's kind of like an autopsy. They're teaching you about all the veins and all. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. Oh, I'm about to pass. It's crazy looking. I'm doing a restorative art class where it's like making the face where make people look more natural so the family can grieve properly. Oh my goodness. From writing, man, look, man, flip, look. I'm doing the children's show, but I want to be this got dark real quick. For the people who are not aware, what is the difference between Atlanta and the rest of Georgia? Georgia is a country, but Atlanta is a country, but like in a city way. I kind of think of it like when you think of LA, where it's just the place to be, the music scene that sets it apart. What's more credible, the hospital you were born at or the high school you went to? If you aren't from Fulton County School District, they don't count you. It gets more territorial when you're from the city, like Cobb and Gwinnett are still Metro Atlanta. Another big thing I feel like shoots people in the foot when it comes to territory is who you know. I don't care because I don't like how people are counting out Cobb. When people get money in Atlanta, they move to Cobb County. At that. Oh, brother. What's the worst police department in the city? Cobb doesn't play around, but there isn't much going on. In Atlanta, there's so much crime that they catch everyone. You don't get in trouble unless you're going to be doing something for real. We're older now, so I think things like even smoking in the car, it's the way you move around. It's not like a sundown town type of vibe, but if you move suspiciously, they take notice. What is a music fact about Georgia? Would you like a music fact about Georgia? She said, sure. There are 3 places that your music has to catch on to blow. That's Atlanta, Columbus, and Albany. There are all the reasons, the main ticket being that's where the HBCUs are. She said, yeah, that's hard. I went to a HBCU tour with DTLR. We went around DC on tour. We did Howard, Madison, Bowie State, and like 2 or 3 other schools. What did that tour show you? Excuse me. It showed me that there are hella kids everywhere at every event. They were just everywhere. I never got booed, but I got stares. I consider stares a good thing, though, because it's like someone's paying attention. What makes a good book? Personally, my favorite type of books are self-help books, and I like whatever can help me learn more about myself. My favorite author is Robert Greene. Cliche as it sounds, my favorite book is 48 Laws. Have you read The Art of Seduction? No, but I've been meaning to. I need to buy that soon. What does seduction mean to you? Getting somewhere right where I want them. Ah, she's smart. I like to give you a book recommendation. The Last Lecture. Bet I'm getting that one. Have you ever heard The Secret is about the law of attraction, where if you perceive things in a good way, good things will come to you. Likewise for the other. Nah, I would definitely be reading to that one. What else are you? He's never heard of The Secret? How old is he? It was like a thing on the Oprah show for like 3 months where Oprah was just like, you gotta read The Secret, guys. Like it was. I haven't been watching any particular series, but I love Bob Burgers. I love Jenny and Georgia too. I love that show. And I'm reading While We Sleep, which teaches about the brain and its functions and why sleep is so important. I try to study like millionaires and billionaires to see what they're reading. And Bill Gates had that on this list. I feel like there are so many different misconceptions when it comes to misunderstanding sleep and how it impacts your day-to-day life. What is a common misconception do you feel about mental health? I feel like we hold ourselves to the same standards as other people, but we all have different stories. States are permanent, but more about perception. It's all about how you're brought up, and it can be easier to steer away from things that you grew up with. How do you perceive yourself? I perceive myself as a strong but temperamental person, but that's only when something goofy is going on. I see myself as level-headed but focused, and I don't do too much. My misery doesn't want company. How did your environment shape you? My mom played a big part in my core development. She raised me by myself with my brothers. She is strong-willed and independent, and it taught me to be the same way. She helped shape me into the woman that I am today. Very straightforward and to the point. Do you see yourself as a good role model? You can be a bad role model and grow into that, but with age, I've grown into a more positive one. Musicians created book clubs to form a bond with fans. Would that be something you're interested in doing? You know what's crazy? I wanted to do reviews on the books that I read, but I never really even thought about doing a book club. This is so dope. Like, I feel like if a lot of more artists, especially rappers, did this, there would be such a, I don't know, because you just see the like that's Woo the Savage. So to hear like Woo the Savage talking about books and reading, I don't know, this is beautiful stuff. But I never really thought about doing a book club. I thought about making them bookmarks for my readers out there with my pictures or quotes on them. I want to influence people to read. See, this is so positive. This has been a question I've asked a few people close to me. What's dirty macking? Dirty macking is kind of like hating this pillow talk. I kind of compare it to name dropping because you want someone to know someone just for your gain. I don't like people who talk a lot. The people who talk a lot often say things with no substance. It makes you look lame. Oh my goodness. Does lying on your junk count as dirty macking? She said, yeah. Then I have a list. Then they'll have their day. What's the craziest thing that someone has tried to dirty mac to impress you? 7th grade at the movies, this boy told me that the boy I had a crush on was in there with another girl. His friend told me I ended up getting mad because I found out he liked me. So it was just like, you're getting mad for no reason. What's an instant sign that a man is easy? If he's too thirsty, you can tell. If someone is too on go, you can see it in their eyes. You have a song called Anime. What's your favorite? None. She said, nah, but I like Boondocks. One of my friends tried to put me on with Chainsaw Man, but I just couldn't get into it. It seems like a bunch of yelling and screaming, but the colors aren't super friendly like Bob's Burgers. Being a Bob's Burgers fans, if you owned a restaurant, what would be on the menu? Bougie food, salads, smoothies, granola bars made out of Kenya, sauteed vegetables, different types of teas, tea bags, and everything. A world's one-stop shop for health. My favorite foods are tacos, and salads. I never really had frog legs. What's the weirdest things you've ever eaten? Squirrel or rabbit? Oh, she country for real. I had it when I was younger, living in Indiana. So you know it has to be good if a kid is willing to eat it. What's your stance on matcha? I never had it. Is it good? Shake said no. Boba tea, I feel like it's hit or miss. With context, what's your top 5? God, my mom, me, mangoes, and Porsches. What's your requirement list for shows to have on hand for you? Mangoes, Red Bulls, and water. If you could get sponsored by anyone, who would you pick? Rock Revival Jeans, Swapes, or Canada Dry, or Takis? What's your definition of the underground? People who aren't just well known or big. I know that it gets pretty strategic when you talk about it, and I feel like it gives an alternative because that's how you make the music. Were you big into making music during the SoundCloud era? I never really tapped into SoundCloud. Growing up, I was listening to Rich Homie Quan, Thug, and Jose Guapo. SoundCloud was kind of like for the younger generation. How do you feel about the next generation being more willing to take the leap of faith to pursue their passions? Yeah, but only because it's easier to do now with the internet and resources available. Instant gratification is kind of like a plague going around because you get what you want and it still might not be enough at the end of the day. That is a word. When you realize you had the desire to perform, not until like 6 years after I started rapping. Practice does make perfect. And at first, I wasn't big into performing at first. I punch in when I rap. So when I practice them in order, I have to practice them to get them right. What's been your favorite fan interaction? I just had one recently at Barnes & Noble. Once again, talking about books. She ran up to me and said my stage name. Another time I was hiking and a guy walked up to me and fist bumped me. Do you feel like it's more important to make a hit or create a fan base? It depends on what you want to do it for. A lot of people who are making music aren't in it for things like plaques, and they can't tell you, and they can't tell people to make something. It's so easy to make nothing. When it comes to mainstream artists, I feel like they're kind of seeing things one dimensionally, but there is a problem with people not making quality when it's so easy. Not everyone wants to be the best. What is the importance you feel artists may place on being signed? Independent, you want to be signed, but when they get signed, it's like they don't want to be signed anymore. You should be going hard to that point so it doesn't get to that point. You never want to slowly rely on anyone as long as she doesn't say positive because I would have kept that to myself. Yeah, she country for real, for real. Squirrel, it ain't that far off from in my opinion. You should be going hard up to that point so it doesn't get to that point. You never want to solely rely on anyone or anything for anyway. You shouldn't want the label should want you. There it is. When you first meet people, do you introduce yourself as an artist? I never like to force my things on people, so I don't need to tell them initially. If they want to know, they'll look almost, honestly. Have you ever been starstruck before? I saw Allen Iverson when I was like in 9th grade, but he had pissed me off. I asked him for a picture and he didn't even turn his back. And his security was like, we'll get to you later, and never came back. After that, I said to myself, I'll never approach a celebrity again. What's the most frustrating thing you've encountered since you've been in the industry? She said fake stuff. It's a dog eat dog world. It feels like everyone's for self. So it doesn't even work being humble. That stuff will get you stepped on. Have a humble heart, but carry yourself with as anything less than. Do you feel like as a woman you have to use to gain traction as an artist? She said, no, I wouldn't say that. Some people have it, some people don't. You can't force it either, though, because it'll look crazy. Money will make anyone look attractive. What is the hardest thing you notice about working with men in a male-dominated industry? Men are just annoying, nasty stuff. It used to irritate me a lot when I was younger, but now I rap without these people. Everyone looks good, but everyone you ain't got to talk to. That's where I feel like a lot of men lose a goal. That's the type of stuff that can lead to deleting people's music off my phone. Dang. Could you see yourself as a role model? She said, yeah, I have common sense. And if you have that, you can be anybody's role model. You have to primarily look at yourself as a realistic way of thinking. What's something that you feel like kids are missing out that you grew up on? Going outside, they can't read, watch videos, or do research. That's a fact. I have friends who are teachers, and even they say they notice that there's been a large decline in youth when it comes to critical thinking and actually using the internet to find information. Yeah, with Google, you can such dig up and do your research, but ChatGPT removes all of that. I feel like the rise of AI and all of the simple jobs are being removed. This stuff is not too far from the Hunger Games. How would you give back to the community? I would give back to the homeless shelters. I give my clothes and such to women's homeless shelters. My goal is to become a philanthropist, reaching that point where I can give to help people in all areas. Before I go, you'd like to tell me any major plans you may have for the future. About to drop a project next month called Say Less. Oh, that's dope. After that, I'm going straight back to rap or rock or even just straight rock. That's all I can say right now. And then she laughed. Shouts out to Woo the Savage and shouts out to Alexander Gallardo. Great questions. Shouts out to Buddy. I like this once again. Buddy's 2 for 2 for me. Buddy's 2 for 2. The Wuchi Wobbler joint was great, and this one is great. And there's like a different energy when it comes to print interviews. I don't know if the people open up more, but I love reading like a good feature like Q&A interview, bro. Shouts out to Buddy. I wish her well. Same.
Once.
Okay.
Rashad, why you
Anyways.
didn't hit me up?
What's up, Rashad? Hey, Rashad.
What's up, Rashad?
Thank you, Rashad.
Brother, I love you, brother.
What's up, Rashad?
Yeah.
What it do, boy?
Hey, Rashad.